Good morning. This is Morten from English TV. I'm here with Erez from Massivit, and another Israeli company that is doing fantastic and doing fabulous things. We're going to talk to Erez and see a little bit about some of the new equipment they have here. This is the 7th day of Drupa, and you feel that everybody is starting to get a little bit tired, but not Erez.
Exactly. Great seeing you again. I'm so happy that you stopped by to see. Absolutely. This is the 7th day in Drupa, and people are touring around, but I can promise you that Massivit is the most interesting thing to see. We are in Hall 9, stand 08, and let me show you what is so special about Massivit.
See, you get your chance in a second. I have a few questions first.
Please, go ahead.
Because, when I see you stand and see all these fantastic things you have here on stand, it takes a moment. If you don't know Massivit, it takes a moment before you realize this is actually 3D printed, right?
Absolutely.
Because, when it comes, a lot of people talk about 3D print today, and you do it, but you do it also in a grand scale, right?
Exactly.
When was Massivit founded?
Massivit founded in 2013 by pioneers from the 2D printing industry. Actually, in my past career, I worked in Indigo, I worked in Cytex, in EFI, and actually Massivit founded in order to bring the news from the 3D to the 2D. Not too many people are aware, but 3D printing exists for more than 30 years, 3-0. And actually, the 2D was missing for something new, and something new that will bring new business for them, because today campaigns are split between social media and printed, whether it's inside shopping center or billboards or other printed materials, and companies look to bring something new, and brands and agencies look to bring something new. And what we're saying, let's add 3D element to the 2D printing world.
What I like about what you say here, and that is, you're totally right, basically, because one of the things is always like, is 3D print part of the, let's say, the printing industry? But when you come with that explanation, it seems perfect natural that you're here at Drupa, because every time we have an in-store campaign, why not add the little extra bonus to it, right?
Exactly. And today, campaigns are being splitted between television, film, printed magazine, websites, and social media. And today, when you look specifically on the young generation, they go like that with their phones, and they're not even looking on their surrounding. And actually, Massivit is a way to grab their attention and actually to bring news to the brands. And I will show here in our interview some cool stuff. Yeah. And I don't know if you noticed, but while we are interviewing, you will see many people take selfies with these objects, elements. Yeah. And this is the best because they see something new and they tag themselves, and it's a combined campaign into the social media as well.
And the funniest thing is, as you almost already said, when I was looking at the things you have here, I wanted to touch them. I wanted to feel,
exactly.
And I guess that engagement also when you come into a retail space it has a massive impact on conversions, basically, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you touch and feel, and there's, by the way, different feeling between what you touch and the coloring and everything. And I will explain about it in a minute.
Okay, so you're here at Drupa, and we're going to talk about the two machines that you have on floor and all some of the applications. How has the show been for you so far? I can see you have a sold sign, so that must be a good sign, right?
Yes, yeah. Exactly. This machine was already sold, and we're actually presented here the new Massivit 3000, and I will talk about it, and we have the Massivit 10,000 that I will talk about it. So what we actually brought here, the Massivit 3000, is actually an entry point, best value for money 3D printer that enable more and more printing services company to adopt our technology. What we are doing with this machine, we're actually printing 3D element in large scale. May I ask you, how tall you are? What is your height?
I think it's 179.
179. We can literally print you in 6 hours. Wow. I repeat, to print you full mannequin or prop size in 6 hours. And all the elements that you see here are actually printed in a matter of hours. And that's actually, if you want to do it in alternative technology, it probably take 6 to 7 days. So this is a productive machine.
Yeah, because I was just about to ask you, because I guess that when you look at the first 3D printers that came to market, extremely slow. Took a long time, and you had limited options when it came to surfaces and details and that. And here, I mean, just looks fantastic, right? So speed is also important, I guess.
Yes,
Right?
actually. Let's tell you a little bit how it works, and then we can connect how we get to this ultra fast machine. We are the only one in the world who prints with gel. You will see it in a minute. Very similar to a gel hair that actually polymerize it, cure it, and transform it from a gel to a solid state material. This has actually enabled us to crack the barrier of speed, the fact that we are printing in gel, and we can literally print any size, but we print at the size of 1.2 by 1.5 by 1.8. This is why I ask you how tall you are, so you can understand the proportion.
So if I had been 181, I had to take off my shoes, right?
We can scale you down, or you can bend over a little
Okay,
bit.
we can do it like this.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. A lot of options, that's what you say,
And
right?
in addition, now if you be a 3-meter height, we can cut you to pieces, seriously, and you can glue the parts together very easily with the same material that being 3D printed. We have campaigns that are 6-meter tall, just to give you the proportion. So these are the sizes, but it can be attached together.
So when you use that gel that is being turned into some hard kind of material afterward, basically that is one of the, let's say, elements that differentiate Massivit from other 3D printing companies. And I guess that when you have almost like a fluid, you have way more control on all the details, right?
Exactly. You control in a gel. You will see it in a minute, the technology. It's actually injecting the gel, and we can control the viscosity of the gel, and that's what brings the speed and the quality.
I can see it's already doing something work now, and I see when you see on the screen behind there, it seems that you have a camera inside the machine so you can see what goes on, or?
Yes, absolutely. You mentioned to me that you didn't have your morning coffee and you would like to have it with a cupcake. So I'm just printing a huge cupcake for you. Imagine that you are some Frenchies that sell coffee, okay, and you want to add some elements, so you can have like a huge ice cream or a huge cupcake or a huge sandwich. And again, productivity is the name of the game. So we're gonna print a cupcake, and later on you can have a bite. What we can see here, as I mentioned, the cupcake, this is the gel, as I mentioned. You can see we are injecting the gel, very similar, very fast, very similar to a gel hair, and it polymerizes immediately. And here we can see this is the cupcake that will be 3D printed just what now.
And that is the moving part, that is basically the position of the print head.
Exactly, exactly. And before the show ends today, you can have a bite from this cupcake, which will take us about 7 hours.
Okay, so it's a big
It's
one.
a big one, yeah. It can
yeah.
be for any coffee shop that want to bring customers. It can be a big cup of coffee. And let me share with you that that's a static element. You can do cool stuff. Imagine someone that pour his coffee and you have the splash of the coffee on the floor, and I will show you a use case of a minute. You know, objects that are not static but are in motion grab people attention even more. This is what we learn from our customers. And you can see here an excellent example from our customer in Spain called Daeco that print a brilliant campaigns for, you know, all the top brands like Carolina Herrera and Dior. So there are a selection of materials that can be applied to the part after it was printed. Here we can see a Massivit bag, okay?
Super cool.
Okay, this is how it's being wrapped. Very straightforward, very easy to do.
And actually surprised that it's not so heavy, right? It's,
Thank you for this comment. This is very lightweight, and we are printing totally hollow. And you asked me about the differences between the 3000 and the 10,000. I will explain in a minute. Please have a look. Again, we are printing hollow, and that's actually in our Massivit 10,000, we are casting inside materials. We will see it in a minute.
And that was why one of the things, because then you can say that, okay, you use this for prototyping, but if you need larger volumes, then you can use it for the cast space, basically.
So I wouldn't call it prototyping, I will call it customized manufacturing.
Okay.
If you need 20 pieces, 5 pieces, the Massivit 3000 is the run for you. If you want 100, 1000, we'll get into the 10,000 in a minute, and you can produce it with a tool or a mold for the packaging industry. So we're talking about the finishing. So vinyl wrap is one of them. This is
Cloth.
floating.
Yeah.
Very easy to do it. You just spray glue and you throw like velvet pieces on top of it. And again, look, top quality.
And Jack, we want to touch it, right? Isn't that true? Yeah.
So that's floating.
Yeah.
That's a simple spray stone from
yeah,
every hardware store.
Yeah.
So there's selection of materials,
Yeah.
and this is where our customer can differentiate themselves
Yeah.
and bring more value. For example, we have a single tone painting also, and there's the top, as you see, the goldy finish over there. That's actually, and the thing is that it's being priced differently, like I said, in the billboard and the POP stands, the viewing distance, okay? So that enable our customers to do window display, like this shoe that was just painted in simple spray, and there is no post-process on it. So our customers know how to differentiate it, very similar to the concept of POP versus billboard application. And what's so beauty about this machine, that it can do lots of cool stuff and application. For example, you can do soft signage, the frame itself.
So the frame is printed.
Instead of doing it from aluminum box, you can print it in creative shape. We can also
and when you have this kind of application, it also really shows the capabilities of how detailed and how smooth the 3D print is actually, right?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
and that was printed in 2 hours only.
Yeah.
Now also remember, there's no need for stock.
Yeah.
You don't need rails of aluminum.
Yeah.
You just print what you need.
Yeah.
So that's another use case. Another use case is channel letters that can be done. For example, and the idea about 3D printing, that you can create cool geometries that you cannot produce, in normal manufacturing technique. Like this one, this is, for example, the Massivit logo, and you can see aside, you have also a texture. So you can have your name on it, or by the way, for installation, you can have M1, M2, so you can do lots of things with this technology and the Massivit 3000.
We are also on a time here. Let's go and talk about
I told you I need to ask the time, because I know myself. I'm getting enthusiastic.
But I think this is
Let's
super
take a-
interesting here.
Yeah. So this is the Massivit 10,000. This machine, you ask me about what are the differences. So if you need, for example, 100 drills like this, okay, grab it, okay? Imagine campaign, this will be hang, we can play like soccer, grab it, whoops, okay? Okay, you can do cool stuff with it. It's totally hollow as well, but if you need 100 copies, 200 copies, okay? You want to hang it in the air in all hardware store, what you will do, you will print a mold, a tool. So this machine actually does everything that the Massivit 3000, but in addition, it can produce molds, tools, everyone call it different pattern, everyone stanz, everyone call it in a different name. We're doing the same concept technology. We are printing a shell, totally hollow, with a special material that it breaks in the water, and we'll build several layers. And then we cast inside epoxy material. This material is break with water, so after the printing process, we put it in water, the walls fall apart, and then you have a final tool that is built for heavy duty. And with this one, you can run hundreds of parts that will be coming out of it.
And if you didn't have a Massivit, then you would have to do this in a CNC or...
That's exactly the process.
Yeah.
Now we can see here in live, we print several layers, very similar to the Massivit 3000, and now the casting head casts material inside. You can see it inside the machine. And as you can see, this is very, very unique technology that enables you to produce tools, molds, jigs, fixtures, pattern. Everyone call it a little bit in a different name. But at the end of the day, it serves the industry for packaging, for example. You can see the cookie stand over here. Okay, so this is the tool, the mold, how it comes out of the printer. And this, again, you can integrate inside your business this tomorrow morning, because many customers already adopt, for example, latex that has stretchable inks, and they are doing thermoforming, so that can be used. And in addition to the molding, this can also print flame retardant materials. So it can be stationed in a theme park or in a shopping center that has a requirement, specific requirements
kind of things, of
for
course.
these kinds
Yeah,
of things.
yeah.
So the ice cream was thermoform, the drill was thermoform, the cookie was thermoform, and we spoke about things that are in motion, okay? Things that, oh, well, what is happening with
So
this
here you have the
eyeliner?
combination of the...
Exactly.
yeah,
This
yeah.
is a perfect match. In the past, it was a floor decoration, so you can do floor decoration with a marker that was in motion. You can see this ice cream that actually sticking to the floor. So things that are in motion grab the young. You don't know how many people took selfie with this marker during the show or the Dior bottle that we see over here.
As you said, you could continue forever, right?
Absolutely.
And it was super interesting. So thank you very much for your tour. It was. I have seen Massivit also, as I mentioned to you, with printing companies that have started to see how to use this as a addition to their, let's say, 2D printed point of sale displays and things like that. And I think it's super interesting to see, and a fantastic journey you are on here with Massivit. So thank you for sharing it with us here on English. So thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.